Our guests are Dennis Fotinos, a Metro councillor from Toronto, Ontario, and Miriam Switzer of Prince George, BC. And we're talking about Bobby Oatway and the stomach-turning crimes that he committed and what we do with this guy now that he is eligible to be out on supervised leave. And since both you, Miriam and Dennis, you've been putting up pictures of this guy everywhere, I think we should put up a picture of him as well. This is what Bobby Oatway looks like. He is also known as Robert Stevens. He changed his name while he was in jail to Oatway, and this is what he looks like. All right, we're going to go to the phone lines because we have Leona on the line. She is Bobby Oatway's sister-in-law. Hello, Leona.
Hi.
Hi. Now, you were one of the victims of Bobby Oatway.
Yes, I was.
This was when you were a child?
Yeah, from the ages of about 6 until I was about 16.
And what can you tell us about him and the kinds of crimes that he committed?
Rapes, beating. He was never charged with the crime against me. My charges were stayed due to further investigations that they were doing at the time. Mm-hmm.
But it's your feeling that Bobby Oatway married your sister in part because she had so many siblings.
Well, there were a lot of us in the family, and yes, it gave him access to a lot of children.
Right. Leona, if you can you tell us how you used to try and protect your other sisters when you came to sleep at your sister's house?
Well, I would put myself in the front line. It's hard. I was
here. Let me do it. Let me do it, Leona. I know that this is too hard for you.
No,
Leona was very self-sacrificing, and she would basically offer herself up so that she could protect her other sisters. So she would be the one that he would come in and rape to protect the sisters. Is that right?
Yeah.
This was a bad man.
Yes, very. And to have the authorities sit back and say that it was only his family, they're wrong. He may have only been charged with crimes against his family, but he committed crimes against many children.
Yeah.
This again shows up the attitude of Corrections Canada, of people who are responsible for the release of men like Oatway. This is just disgusting. I can't even talk. It's so upsetting. Ma'am, I feel really sorry for what happened to you. I can only imagine the pain and suffering that you're going through. I have members of my own family, people that are close to me, that have gone through things that are similar to this. And it takes a lot of guts, and this is what I want people to understand too, to stand up and say that this has happened to me.
And Leona, I wanted to ask you one question, because Corrections Canada and I guess the Crowns are claiming that they didn't go ahead with dangerous offender charges against this man because they didn't want to cause the victims any further pain. Did anybody come to you and say, hey, Leona, do you want us to not go ahead with these charges so you don't have to go back to court?
No, no one spoke to me concerning that issue. I found out years later that they had not gone for the dangerous offender. They were supposed to. I was told over and over again throughout the trial that they would go for the dangerous offender. The prosecutor at the last minute decided not to.
And were you given any explanation why?
He just felt that it would be too hard for the victims and it wasn't worth it.
Wasn't worth it?
Yeah, it wasn't worth the trouble. Also, the parole board, they were going to have a detention hearing to hold him until the end of his sentence.
Right.
And a few weeks prior to his release date, they informed me that they decided that letting him out now would be better for him.
Better for him?
Yeah.
Do you know if they cooked a deal with him that he traded off getting treatment in exchange for being released on mandatory parole?
I really don't know. I do know that mandatory release comes up for every offender.
Yep.
And it's just the way that the laws are. And I myself feel that the laws must be changed to protect society. Every child, when these people are released, is at danger. Mm-hmm. They're at risk of being assaulted. My whole point in coming forward and sending the things off to Prince George like I did was to notify the public that this man is a dangerous, dangerous pedophile who will assault children from the ages of 2 to adult. Teenagers, every child, male, female, is a potential victim.
Okay, Leona.
This particular person.
Leona, we admire your strength, and I really thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
That's Leona. She is the sister-in-law of Bobby Oatway, and it's through her that we've been able to find out what this guy is really about, because clearly there hasn't been a willingness to share information about how dangerous this guy is.
No, there hasn't.
Correction, and unfortunately, our repeated efforts to get in touch with the Solicitor General and the Attorney General of Canada, and I got to say that, I also am a Liberal, and I thought that maybe that might help, but that hasn't helped. Nothing. And it's when you hear stuff like this, it's just heart-wrenching. I can't believe that the Solicitor General of Canada and the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice of Canada don't want to make this situation right for those victims. They have an opportunity here. They're hiding behind smoke screens. They're making excuses. They're giving despicable explanations, and it's just, I just can't understand it. I
think maybe they don't understand how it sounds to the rest of Canada when they say things like, we think the mandatory release is the right thing for him.
Yep. And you see, this is where I think communities across Canada come in, Jane. Myself and other people should speak up, get in touch with the political parties, the powers that be. We are the ones that elect these people, and we are the ones that can change the laws, and I think that is something that really must be done from a grassroots level, and only then will we see the kind of protection for our children that we need.
Miriam, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks,
Thank
Jane.
you.
Dennis Fatinos is a Metro councillor from Toronto. Miriam Switzer joined us from Prince George. You're with Jane Hawtin Live. Up next, it's the law. They can live where they like. Maybe it's time for a change. Let's talk about that when we come back.